Michigan's Big Show. I'm Chad Livengood from the Detroit News, filling in for Michael Patrick Shields here today. We've been talking to politicians, and we've been talking a lot about Proposal 1, the ballot proposal that voters will face on May 5th to increase the sales tax from 6 cents to 7 cents on every dollar. And the leading opponent to that is Paul Mitchell, treasurer of the Coalition Against Higher Taxes and Special Interest Deals, and a businessman from Saginaw County. And he joins us next on our AT&T line. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, good morning, Chad. How are you?
Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Where is your campaign at? I know you guys launched a TV ad and TV and radio and some digital. I heard it on radio for the first week. I saw it on cable news, Fox News, or something, and then I have not seen it since. Are you guys still on the air in Michigan?
Oh, not this week or not. Our objective was to help get out information early on as we sought to find the narrative of what this ballot proposal was all about. I think we've been successful in doing that and getting more and more people to understand that this is a $2 billion tax hit, that better than 40% of it goes to things that are unrelated to roads, and that, in our opinion, that there are better ways to solve this problem. That special interests are holding the roads hostage, and we're paying a ransom in order to fix our roads.
Well, when you talk about this $2 billion tax hit and 40% goes to other initiatives, $1.2 billion goes to roads.
Eventually, let's be clear about that.
Well, initially there will be $1.2 billion generated in the first year. $400 million will go to roads, and $800 million will go to pay down debt, and then it'll flip and be $800 million the next year for roads, $400 million for debt, and then the third year it'll be $1.2 billion. That's the eventually, right?
Well, the other eventually is that the Yes campaign has talked extensively about how they're going to it's guaranteed that the diesel and fuel taxes will go to the roads. That's accurate. That's only about $460 million of this $2 billion tax hit. The remainder, the sales tax component, is in the general fund. They can change their mind the day after the election and spend it on other things. So, what's a guarantee? A guarantee is only as good as the next legislature or the next decision. They
could change their mind on where all the sales tax goes?
The only roughly $460 million goes to is from the diesel and fuel taxes that will be dedicated to roads, and that's using information from the House Fiscal Agency and from the Yes campaign themselves. They don't want to talk about the other part of it. So, with all due respect, they say it's going to go to the roads, but there is no guarantee of that, despite all the discussion of guarantees.
Well, isn't that part of the process in Lansing that everything is subject to appropriations? You can't bind one legislature to do something after the next?
Well, that may be the case, but we're certainly binding the taxpayers to $2 billion forever and a day.
Okay.
So if we're going to bind taxpayers to making a decision to vote for a massive tax hit, why is it we can't find a way to bind the legislature? This doesn't do it. So don't talk. Let's put it this way, Chad. Don't talk about guarantees when, as my dad says, the only guarantee is death and taxes. And I think we ought to change that to higher taxes rather. There's no guarantee.
Okay. Where is what's the alternative? What would be your alternative to where would you find $1.2 billion more for the roads if that's what is needed? I mean, most people think that's the bare minimum.
Well, there's a lot of discussions about what's needed, and what's also needed, let's be honest about it, are changes in the Department of Transportation in terms of improved performance. You saw it came out about 10 days ago in terms of management of the warranties. So there's a lot of things that need to happen besides just throw money at it. And Senator Colbeck has noted that, and others. Senator Brandenburg, Representative Graves, they've been very concerned about how the Department of Transportation is spending money. So let's be clear about that. In terms of alternatives, the reality is the House and the Senate both had packages that addressed the roads. They went to conference. They ran out of time. I say it's sort of like the end of a basketball game that threw a lob pass over for a donkey, went out of bounds. But the good news is we get to play that. It's not like it's the end of the world. They're back in session now. Solve the problem. But to say that that's the best answer we could find is the voters are saying clearly it's a pretty poor answer if that's the best they can come up with. Go back to the Bolger plan, resuscitate the Senate plan, and somewhere in there's a compromise. But the compromise that came up for the ballot proposal is a 58% increase over the highest cost that went into conference on. Where in the world have you seen a negotiation in your life that they go to negotiate on a final package, and it's 58% higher when they decide to go out to a ballot measure? That's amazing.
The Safe Roads campaign, Safe Roads Yes campaign, the pro Proposal 1 campaign, they're emphasizing the safety of our roads. Do you feel safe driving down roads in Saginaw County?
Well, I'm on the roads right now, and I wouldn't rate them real highly, mostly because of the snow. So, I mean,
sure.
But the answer to your question is, my family drives those roads every day, same roads that your family drives, that the Lieutenant Governor and Governor's family drives. And yes, they're safe. If you look at the data from the Office of Highway Safety Planning, fatalities and injuries are down over the last 10 years. Fatalities are down 19% as they measure them. The reality is, it's a scare tactic. Let's stop misleading voters. Are they great? No one is saying safe roads, we don't care. I'll be the first one to stand up and say our roads need work, a lot of work. But that doesn't mean you make a bad choice to spend money on the roads. Another way to look at it is, I've got a 17-year-old daughter that babysits. I'm going to tell her that, the shampoo she wants, it actually costs $1, but she has to give me $2 because I need extra money for other things when I go to the store. I tell you that conversation won't go well. Well, voters aren't taking it very well either.
Well, they're not asking for $2 for
It isn't $2 yet. It is. It's $2 billion. When you take the whole effect, the House Fiscal Agency came up with a number of $1.954 billion. And then Patrick Anderson came up with noted an impact of $100 million in additional federal taxes because of the change in registration tax, the way it's structured. Patrick Anderson has an incredible reputation. He's a quality firm. So I guarantee you my accountants are going to pay attention to Patrick Anderson more than the Yes campaign on that tax issue.
Are you hiring Patrick Anderson for analysis of this?
No, we've not hired Patrick. Patrick and I have been in conversations of that, but we've not hired Patrick. The work Patrick's done has been pretty clear, and he's done it of his own volition because he's concerned about this.
Are you teaming up with any other campaigns at all?
We've met with the other campaigns as recently as last. I can't remember. I had staff go. I was out of town. I think it was last Thursday. They met with folks from the other campaigns, and some of the some of the members of the legislature attended. They also are concerned. The discussion that there is no Plan B is simply not accurate. Pat Colbeck, Senator Colbeck, has come in with his, and it will be dropped as legislation. There are a number of other senators that are actively participating in that. In the House, there's several representatives that are working on packages of bills that would address the road issue, and exclusively the road issue, directly. And so to say that we can't do anything but sign on to a bad deal is again, in my opinion, misleading the voters.
You think Governor Snyder is misleading the voters when he talks about falling concrete from bridges?
I said that the Yes campaign is misleading the voters, and did not suggest that the governor was misleading the voters. The Yes campaign is misleading the voters in terms of both that this is the only answer, and that if we don't fix the roads, that people are dying. It's scare tactics. All it is scare tactics in hopes that they can hide the extraordinary amount of money that they're spending on. They're putting a special interest in order to grease the skids to get to the legislature, and hopefully by the voters. But that doesn't seem to be going very well for them right now.
Paul Mitchell, thanks for joining us. Paul Mitchell from the Coalition Against Higher Tax and Special Interests. This is Michigan's Big Show. Stick around. We'll have Roger Martin from Safe Roads Yes next.